Alright, and adding hair to this figure is probably not the worst idea I've ever had. So I'm gonna add some hair to this figure, and it's gonna look real trash, guys. If there's one thing I hate, it is absolutely adding hair to stuff. I don't know why, but I really hate modeling hair. I love the way it looks, like in the end. I just hate making it. Alright, so what is my hair right now? I realized the other day, so I have like a logo and whatever that I use for my business cards and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is not even close to being the actual part and stuff of the hair is like all on the wrong side of the head, and I'm like, why? I'm like, oh, because that's how I see myself in a mirror. When I look in a mirror, this is how I see my face. Instead of realizing that the long hair is actually over here, I always put it over here and I can't stop it. It's just gonna be how it is from now until I die. It's great. I could also add ears to this character, but I'm choosing to not add ears. Because it would take 10 seconds, but I just don't want to. There's no real reason for this thing to have ears. So I'm just gonna run through and... Oh, hello. Ah, yes, because I still have symmetry on. Like a crazy person. So I'm just gonna go in and just really quick throw in some janky looking hair. This isn't gonna look good, guys. Like, at all. For the record, I'm listening to this. I'm just not gonna really pay attention to topology super a lot, because I'm probably just gonna come back in and sculpt this anyway, because I don't want to model all the detail of the hair right now. That's the literal last thing that I want to do today, and I have other things to do with my time that do not include doing that. So. What fucking lady? See, I'm trying to hit 3 for the Moto hotkeys because they're so much superior to Maya's. It's quite irritating. Alright, I don't actually know what my hair looks like. This is kind of awkward. Ooh, hello. What if I just sort of have like a part, so I'll just sort of grab this and maybe make something that might resemble a part in the hair? And just grab this and maybe throw this over a little bit, maybe like sort of trying to make like a longer section of my hair. Like this. I don't really know what I'm doing. I am not working off any references right now. I'm just sort of winging the ever-living crap out of this. So, we'll see how this turns out. Normally I do work with a little reference when doing hair because I'm so bad at doing hair. But today I'm apparently feeling like living on the edge. Soft select for the win. To make that like a little poofier. And I actually kind of don't hate this. It's not... This could be significantly worse, is basically what I'm getting from this right now. And I think, actually, recently my hair's been like kind of weird and kind of long, so I'm just like throwing like a poofy thing. Yeah, I'll do like one of those weird little like bang tufts that like goes over the other hairs, which is completely unrealistic in a plastic figure and is actually now bothering me. This is also very awkwardly shaped. If I rotate some of these edge loops, it's going to make this look a lot more volumey. And then I can perhaps take this edge with soft select and like drag that down and over and Grab this dude and be like, yay, hair. No, I don't like that. I like that better, I think. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm just sort of making something. Alright, so I think I'll grab this again. Maybe come in and... yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this a little narrower. Poof. Okay, I can't really poof it much more down. In that case, I'll take this one and pull it up. Grab this, move this under like so, and make this a slightly less puffy piece of hair. And I'm going to move this like this, take this over here, because my hair does weird stuff that I like never understand. So this is also going to do that. Cool. Take this, pull this down. This is really awkward. Alright, so I'm actually going to take this, in case I haven't told you about reference layers. Latte. I could call it flesh and get really awkward about it, but I don't really want to. Alright, so... yay. It's kind of awkward, whatever. I'm gonna just make another quick plane, zero this out, add some subdivisions, rotate this, negative 90 degrees, pull this up to the back of the head, and maybe make some kind of shift these dudes around a bit, and maybe I'll start to get a little bit shorter. That looks ridiculous in the back. Screw it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna grab. Yeah, why not? I'll grab all of these guys, extrude, turn off, keep faces together, pull these down. That was dumb. Go into my scale settings and change these to component. It will now scale all these faces like this. And at this point, if I come into here with my soft select, I can kind of curve that ever so slightly, for better or for worse. And now have like a very awkward sort of back of the hair effect. I might also actually go down and this is like, I kind of like doing different variations on my hair. It's an interesting stylistic challenge. I've just done like random hair. I've done sort of vaguely Fortnite inspired hair that was like kind of trying to be for a commission, which I ended up like not getting because I think there was I guess a little bit of misunderstanding about what the prospective client people were actually looking for. So yeah, but I mean it was interesting. I mean I like the way it came out. I'm kind of in a way almost glad I didn't get that job because like I said I really don't enjoy modeling hair. I just like really needed the money at the time. So I mean it's like would have been a cool sort of job, but also probably would have sucked my soul in just like an unbelievable way. So I'm not entirely upset that I missed out on that. I think I need more like little hair nubblies coming out of here. Maybe pull this in, do another extrude, bring this out. A little bit less maybe, I don't know. Really don't know what I'm doing. Alright, so I'll grab this, and what I want, I'm doing like this. Alright, I think I'm gonna actually pull this in a little bit. Turn on ambient occlusion, just to make my life way easier. I think I kind of want this a little puffier, actually. Like this kind of puffy. Yeah, let's do it. Why the heck not? And then I still never know what this vertex face is actually for. Like, you'd think 7 or 8 years of using Maya, and I'd actually look it up, but I haven't. So I still have absolutely no idea what that tool is for. I probably should. Like, I should just suck it up and look it up one of these days. I'm just, for some reason, really don't want to. Oh yeah. Look at all that poof. It's so bad. Alright, I'm starting to get kind of weird myself out with this hair. Like, it's starting to look a little creepy. But I'm not entirely sure why. This is far too symmetrical. I think what this actually needs, if I just join these guys. Oop. Extrude this. Feels maybe a little better. Never said this was going to be awesome looking, guys. Ever. This is what happens when I'm like speed modeling hair. Just sheer awkwardness. And again, I don't even know why I'm trying to model this so carefully, because I'm literally just going to take this into like Mudbox or Mesh Mixer if I'm feeling particularly lazy, and just like add in other random detail to this hair. So I mean, all of this is kind of excessive, so I guess I just want the main sort of pieces in place. Now it just looks like I have a bump it under half my head, which is absolutely not the effect that I was going for here. Holy crap. Actually horrifying. Alright, so I think I'm going to actually combine these guys. And just join these edges together, and now I have... Might have been a mistake. Let's keep going! It was overly aggressively enthusiastic. Yeah, I think that was actually a really bad decision on my part. I'm gonna just grab this and do a extract. Much better. Sort of. Kind of. Maybe questionably better. I don't know. I like it more. I also feel like this would come under the main hair. Oh, it looks better. Totally looks better over. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to grab this, pull it, and then like make a little nub. So that's just coming out of here. And then do this. Yes, that makes a much better hairline. And then for this, I'll take these dudes. I'll take these dudes. And maybe do this to them. Yeah, that feels a little better. Toying with the idea of taking this and pulling it up and over this hair, but in the most awkward possible fashion, of course. Kind of like that, actually. I mean, not what I have right here, but I like the idea that I had to do this. I think I will pursue this, perhaps more carefully. My hair really does. It does dumb stuff. I feel like everyone's hair does. It's just like, you're like, what, you know, I don't know, just be like running around, be like, what is happening right now with my face? You're like, oh, my hair, it's being insane. I see. And don't get me wrong, I do like when my hair does that. It's quite amusing. Literally just pushing these around, just shifting stuff until it's kind of a shape that I like. One day, I know like ZBrush and other things have like way better tools for just sort of making hair, which I fully intend to investigate at a time that's not right now. I'm actually, for some reason, in the mood to make plain hair, which is really weird for me. Because like I said, I really usually despise making hair. Mostly like this, but just in general. I did a gig while I was in college for the Drexel fashion department, where I had to just like make it turned out really cool, but I had to just like make a hairstyle for them. It was a specific hairstyle that they needed, and it was just like, I used XGen and I had to place like hundreds of curves on this head to like define how the hair should exist, and it was absurdly tedious. Like I said, like it came out really neat, and I 100% don't regret doing it. It was just like, oh my. Like this was not more work than I was expecting, because I knew it was going to be a lot of work, but it was just like, wow. Like that was intense. I had to start over numerous times because I was just like, what am I doing right now? I learned XGen while doing that project. So it was very much like a good sort of learning opportunity and all of that good stuff, but it was also just like, holy crap. And it was actually funny because whatever my teacher at the time was like, yeah, like, how much time did you spend on this? And then I was like, oh, maybe this much. And I think I like underquoted it because I felt guilty about how long it actually took me to do the project or whatever. And he was like, okay, like, I'm going to say that you did like an extra bunch of work or whatever. And I'm like, wow, like, this is great. Like, I actually get paid what I should be getting paid, because it was an hourly project. So, and I think they knew that I had like never worked with the program before. So it's not like that was an unexpected twist or anything like that on the part of the fashion department. But anyway, but yeah, so I mean, I basically got paid like, you know, like I said, what I should have been paid, or like the actual hours that I worked. Actually, no, I think I was still underpaid, but I was paid more than I quoted, more than my guilt quote for the amount of work that I did. So it was really nice, and it kind of just like, I guess, helped me realize that I should, if I did a certain amount of work, I should charge for that certain amount of work, and not try to like undercut myself or whatever, because I don't know, it's just, I mean, there's kind of like no reason to do that. I'm not saying go out of your way and like overcharge everyone from stuff, because that's just skeevy, but like on the other hand, like if you did the work, then like charge for the work that you did, and if people don't want to pay that, then like screw them. It's a decision, like perfect, like I would never pay for half of the stuff that I do, partly because I can do it, but also because I'm cheap. And that's not to say that I would go in and like try to haggle down the artist to some like obscenely low rate just because I didn't want to pay whatever they wanted to charge. I would just be like, no, like, okay, like that's cool. Like, thank you for your time giving me a quote, but that's way outside my budget, and that's fine because I'm a cheap person. I think for the most part, I've actually been really fortunate with not having people come in and try to like, you know, aggressively haggle me down, like to the point where they're like, oh, you're a terrible person for wanting to charge whatever you're trying to charge, like blah, blah, blah. I've been really fortunate to like not have a lot of that. Although I definitely have had that. It's like kind of funny, honestly, but I think it's kind of funny. At this point, I usually just try to kill them with nice, like, politeness, and I'm just like, oh, like, I'm sorry, like, my quote's too high, whatever, but, like, that's what I need to charge, so, like, good luck with the project, like, hope you find someone to get it done. But, yeah, I don't know. I 100% don't remember where I was going. I actually don't hate this. It's not good, per se, but it's better than I was expecting 10 minutes ago. But yeah, I I did have someone ask me once to make them a custom figure, or like custom sculpture model, whatever, that could be 3D printed later, with like 4 custom figures on it or whatever, and like all of this other crazy stuff, like 4 different figures, all of them posed, you know, that kind of project. It wasn't like a small project, and I think I was actually relatively new to freelancing at the time and still kind of like terrible at pricing my stuff. So I was like, cool, like I'll do that for $500 or whatever, and I gave them like a breakdown of the costs, like cool, like I'm charging this much for each figure and like this much for whatever else. I think I had a fee. I think I had a fee in there, like when I was breaking stuff down, that was like communication and revision, which was like $50 or something, because I usually would go through and I'd spend like, you know, a few hours like emailing with people to figure out what they wanted, and like, you know, they'd be like, make these changes, and I'd be like, okay, I need to like confirm with you that this is actually like what you want before I go in and do a bunch of stuff. That kind of stuff. It was like, basically I just like broke down the costs really like very much in detail, which I have stopped doing, partly because I'm lazy and partly because like if people ask, I'll do it, but I find that like most people don't care. They're just like, what am I paying in the end? Cool. And then they'll just decide if that's something or not that they actually want to pay for. But yeah, so checking on my audio here. I perpetually expect my microphone to die because this battery life is terrible. But yeah, so this actually kind of looks like a demon scarecrow, and it's a little creepy from the front, I think. It's even better with the UV checker texture. But yeah, so I was like, yeah, like, here's my broken down cost. Basically, like, just over $100 for a custom model with, like, a custom posed model. It was like $125 or whatever, is like basically what it came out to per person. And they wrote me this really angry response back. Something to the effect of, holy, I should kind of want to go back and find it, actually. It was so ridiculous. But it was something to the effect of, like, $500 for this? Like, you're a scam artist. Like, $50 for, like, communication revision? Like, you're such a scam artist, blah, blah, blah. I can go on CG Trader and get models like this that I want for $30. It was, for the record, it was like a NSFW thing with, like, a bunch of half-naked women or whatever. Some, like, you know, those models readily available on the internet. And they're like, I refuse to pay for this or whatever, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is a terrible price. You're a scam artist, yada, yada. And I'm like, okay. And I just wrote back to him, like, cool, like, I do this because I usually spend, the communication thing was because I usually spend a bunch of time going back and forth communicating with the client to, like, get what you want, which usually takes a few hours, and, like, that's including the revisions as well, blah, blah, blah. But if you found the models that would work for your project on CG Trader, then, like, by all means, you should totally grab them and use them. Like, that's awesome, and, like, really lucky for you. Good luck with your project. And that was the end of it. They never responded. I kind of, not that I go out of my way to look for drama, but I was kind of hoping that they would respond. I was curious to see what their response would be. But I'm also, like, perfectly fine that they chose to drop the conversation after that. It was just funny. Sometimes people get really indignant about charging several $100s for a project, and I'm like, well, I mean, it's a specialized skill. Like, if everyone could do this, you would just hop on your computer and do it in an afternoon, you know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of funny. I think it's just kind of amuses me when people get, like, super weird and indignant about stuff like that. It's like, if you don't like the price, just don't pay for it. Like, it's don't take the job. It's really not that complicated. Obviously you should, the other thing I've been actually really fortunate about, thank God, is not having a bunch of people have me do a project and then not paying for it at the end. And I've heard that this is, like, a thing that happens, so what I actually do is I usually, if it's, like, a large gig, if it's, like, a $60 thing or whatever, I might just be like, too much effort to do this, but for, like, anything over $100, I usually do, what the heck, like 50% up front and 50% on completion. So like once I get, you know, half of whatever I'm charging, I'll start the project, and then once the project is over, you can pay me like the other half of the money. And like I usually do PayPal invoices, and they let you there's like a little setting in there where you can like set different you can set like a partial payment rate, basically. This is far too symmetrical, I dislike it. But I mean, so that makes it pretty easy. And then I'm usually if it's like a new client, like if it's someone I worked with before and like I trust them, I'll just be like, whatever, like you haven't paid the last 50% yet, but here's your models, because I know you're like an upstanding human being and you don't suck. But I'll actually usually like not hold the models hostage per se, but I'll be like, cool, like thing is done, like once the invoice is paid, I'll send you the models. And like for the most part, everyone's been totally fine with that. The policy in general, like the 50% upfront kind of thing. And if they're not, to me, that's like honestly kind of a red flag, and I might be like, all right, guys, like I'd be happy to like work some other thing out if they're like, oh, like I don't quite have 50% upfront or whatever, but like I'd love to do this. Like, could we do, you know, 25 and then just sort of like pay it in chunks? And I'd be like, yeah, like that's fine, I don't care. It's less of a, usually, I mean, that whole payment scheme is like less of a I need this money immediately, and more of just like insurance in case people try to, if I never hear back from them after I did a bunch of work, at least I have, you know, half the cost of the project, that kind of thing. It's just insurance for me. So I'm like usually really flexible with that kind of stuff. But it's actually never come up. Like, honestly, most people are really pretty fine to just sort of do the 50% up front, like I usually try to do. Just duplicating random strands of hair is gross. This might actually be some of my favorite plain hair I've done in a while, which is a little upsetting because it's kind of ugly. And I also just did better plain hair like 2 days ago with many more strands and details, but, you know, whatever. I totally forgot where I was going with that tangent, so I might just not, but yeah, I don't know. I've been really fortunate. Like I've worked with some good people that are all like really reasonable human beings and like chill, friendly. I'm gonna start a job for a guy who actually lives close to my parents, close enough where like I could just hand deliver. It's like a 3D printed project, so I could like hand deliver the project to him, and he happens to have some coral, and I'm into reefing. I'd be like, oh my god, dude, like we should trade coral. Like I'll buy coral off of you. Apparently, if you have coral, like mushroom corals, I will consider knocking off the cost of part of the project if you give me mushroom corals. Or I'll just buy them outright, whichever. I don't really... It's effectively the same thing anyway. So, I kind of want a shirt that's just like, will work for coral. But I feel like that's a terrible shirt. Dear God, what am I clicking on right now? No. There we go. But yeah, I don't know. I like freelancing. I like freelancing a lot. I think I'm after, like, unless it's like a really, really cool project, like the thing I'm doing for Coral Dude is like pretty cool. I'm making a mandarin goby, and I really like fish, and I was actually hoping to do a project like that in my personal time anyway, and I'm like, the fact that I can now get paid to do said project is like pretty sweet. So I'm pretty excited about that, but I think I might just drag this over. I'm just gonna wrap this sucker around the head in fantastic awkward fashion. Maybe do that again as here real well. But yeah, so I might actually take a break from, just because like I need to get a bunch of stuff straightened with my Etsy shop and just other like weird, like there's a bunch of stuff that's like been on my things to make list for a very long time, that I just haven't had a chance to do, and I really would like to do them because I think that they could actually make money and be lucrative. I just need to like actually have time to do it, which is hard when I'm teaching and also doing freelance stuff on the sides. Especially like when you do freelance work, I mean, I at least ended up spending a lot of time just sort of going through and like creeping around on Facebook forums and just like being a general lurker until I found jobs basically that I wanted and or could do. I'm not a CAD engineer. I do not pretend to be a CAD engineer, so I would like, you know, don't really take CAD jobs. Not really sure why that's relevant, but point is I only take jobs if I am pretty darn certain that I can actually complete said job. Because the last thing I want to do is like give someone something, you know, hideous or whatever that they didn't want, or like have to pay me, or like they pay me and then I'm like, oh, I actually can't do this, and then I've like wasted time and then I have to like refund them. Because like obviously I feel like if I tell someone I can do a project, I then am obligated to actually do the project. And if I just sort of can't do it halfway through and just run off with their money, like that feels really scammy to me. So like I would not really be comfortable doing that. So then I would like basically refund them the full cost of the project, which I ended up doing once on like a model repair gig because the model was like insanely broken, like to a point where I was like not expecting to be anywhere near that bad. This is actually kind of cute. I mean, this side is hideous, but and I'm like, I would need to charge you way more than you want to pay to make this worth the time. So, and they're like, yeah, I don't want to pay anymore. And I'm like, cool. Well, here's a refund because I can't do this for what I originally charged you, and I'm also really busy right now. I'm terribly sorry. And it was fine. It was just like, oh god, I don't like doing that. It's kind of like a pride thing, but it's kind of gross thing to have to do. Reusing pieces of hair shamelessly. Wow. It's actually, it's not all bad. I think I might actually get rid of. This is real questionable. Not loving that. Alright, and then what if I just made this a little bit... Actually, you can't even really tell that's an exact duplicate. Maybe I'll be lazy and just leave it the way it is. I might. Actually, I think what I should do is actually take this. I'll make this the front piece. Make this the front piece, just sort of turn this. I'm gonna have to modify that, and that's all right. Ooh, why do I suddenly want to watch Ferngully? Yo, Dr. Horrible's sing-along? Fantastic. Sing-along, blog, whatever the heck it's actually called. Such a good thingy. They used to, I think, have it on Amazon, and then I think it's since been removed, and I'm honestly very saddened by this because it's quality content of the best kind. Alright, this is then weird. People are always like, what do you do? Like, how do you model? I'm like, I don't know, I just make a cube and then start doing things to it. Like, that's honestly, I just pretty much is how I model most of the time. Start with a plane, start with a cube, and then just go. Show that horse. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like getting a little nostalgic for doing freelance stuff now. It's also interesting because sometimes you pick up stuff that you wouldn't normally do, and it's like kind of interesting for your portfolio, in terms of just like having like a weird project. I mean, sometimes it's like not, you don't like need that. Like it's not certainly not a requirement for anything, but I think it's just kind of fun to like show that you can do different things sometimes. I found it also to be more helpful in terms of picking up more freelance work. Like the more sort of stuff that you have to show, and if it's like all good, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like person's kind of a jack of all trades. They can probably do, you know, whatever I'm looking for. And like there's like another job that I'm also working on right now to make an anime figure for someone, which it's weird because like my style is like just off. It's like imagine something from a Tim Burton movie that like mated with an anime character, and like whatever the resulting baby was is like kind of my style, where it's like anime stylized, but like a lot of like Tim Burton sort of features in the face, which is really awkward when I say that out loud. Like that's a very weird way to describe my style, but anyway, so I mean it's usually like I do like off anime figures is like kind of I guess how I would describe what I do in my free time. So no. But and everyone said there's like been a few anime jobs and people are like, oh, like have you done anime characters? And I'm like, I do pretty much anime characters. Like to make them more traditionally anime, I would just have to like make the jaw narrower or whatever, or like, you know, remove some detail, do something slightly different with the eyes, and like, you know, one or two other things. And they're like, oh no, like okay, thank you, like I'll go with someone who has more experience doing anime characters. I'm like, that's fair. Like that, you know, whatever. You're paying money for this. Like, I could totally do it. I understand like why you feel more confident going with someone who's like actually done anime characters specifically before. But yeah, so I mean, kind of terrifying, but like in a good way. Also, amazing song. But yeah, again, I don't really know where I was going with that. But yeah, so I mean, like, I picked up a job like actually making some like legit anime characters, and I'm like, yay! I finally like I get an anime character in my portfolio. Someone like actually paying me to make it. And I jumped on that. I also, admittedly, because it was such a good opportunity to like do something that I kind of like wanted/needed to get into my portfolio, I like underquoted a little bit on the project because I'm like, I really want them to to go with me. Getting paid, in my opinion, getting paid some money to make an anime project is better than doing it for free in your own time. I also would probably have just done like, I don't know, Natsu from Fairy Tail or something weird. Or I could do like an Ed. I could do Ed from Full Metal Alchemist, but I still kind of want to. I have this plan of making Ed's arm for like a cosplay thing, even though I don't actually cosplay. I just want to make his arm. And then, you know, of course 3D print it, because that's becoming my shtick in life. But yeah, so I mean, I have evil schemes with that. It would only make sense that I modeled the actual character to put it on. One day I will learn CAD. Maybe I'll do Ed's arm with CAD. Oh god. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds for me in CAD? I'm sure it will be glorious. One. This is good. Yeah? Yes, this is, I think, what I wanted. So keep using the same tuft of hair. Because I'm honestly really lazy about hair. I usually like build in the front of the hair, and then I just sort of go back in, and I'm like, I'm being lazy. What if I use this 8 times? Cool. What's kind of awkwardly similar looking? I always have trouble transitioning between like the front and the back of the hair. What if I hide this dude for now? Shoot. Not being at all organized with my outliner. How to not transition between the front and back of hair when doing a character. What if I just give like a really short tuft in here? Just like really tiny. Alright, it's not terrible. I think I need this negative. Oh! Ooh. Not -1, just negative. Definitely wanted the x-axis. Yay? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. That was actually dumb because it made it symmetrical. I don't know why I just did that. Whatever. It's okay. I'll just grab this edge here and make it not symmetrical anymore. And if I pull this over, then it looks different enough to make me happy. I think I'll make this a thick chunk. Just terminate the hairline like so. I don't even want to know how long I've just spent doing this hair. My laundry is probably done by now. It takes like an hour and a half to run a load. To put that in perspective, we smooth drag against the head. Smooth drag only get you so far. Hi, Booger Cat. Hey, cutie. Oh, I hope you heard that. Ah! He's gonna jump on me and try to sit. Come here. Ah. Oh, he just stole my whole chair. I'm gonna sit on you. My cat is objectively the greatest cat ever. He lives in my office with like reef tanks with fish in them and 3D printers, which like I can leave running, and he literally just doesn't care about them at all. It's fantastic. Like, he ignores all of my stuff, and my office is like, no, what are you doing to me? And my office is like horrendously messy, and like I said, filled with reef tanks, filled with like 3D printers running, and he just like doesn't care. He ignores all of my stuff. It's nuts. Hi. He's being super creepy right now. I think he's trying to sit on me, but I don't know. He is. He's been really like love bitey recently, which is cute, but he doesn't understand how to not hurt me. He does very aggressive love bites, and it's just like, please don't. Like, when I say aggressive, I mean he was literally chewing on my head the other day. Like, I was sitting on the chair, he was sitting above me, he literally bit my head. Like, and just started chewing on my scalp, and I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, it was horrifying. Also quite painful. He has sharp teeth. It was cute, but I'm just like, please don't ever do this again. He also bites my knees, like, if I'm sitting there and ignoring him, he'll just, like, start love biting my knees, and I'm like, also, please don't do that. Like, what is your deal with life right now, cat? But yeah, he's super cute. And if anyone gets cats, you should totally adopt them from, like, shelters. Because I was like, I need a cat. Like, I'm lonely, so I'm gonna just embrace it and become a crazy cat lady. I'm getting a cat. And I went to the shelter and I was like, hey, like, do you guys have any cats that have been here for a while that, like, no one wants? Preferably, like, not because they have crazy medical issues, because, like, it's not, like, if I got a cat and then it turned out to have medical issues, like, I would deal with it, but, like, it would have been financially stupid for me to be like, give me the most expensive cat you possibly can. So I was just like, hey, are there any cats here that need love? Because I will love them. Ow, ow. Aw, these my cuddles. And they're like, yeah, we have this, like, angry old cat. No! Stop trying to love bite me. Holy crap. If I let him, he would literally just chew on my arm. Like, just put it in his mouth and gnaw on it like a piece of rawhide. He leaves marks when he does it. But yeah, so they're like, yeah, we have this, like, angry piece of crap of a cat that, like, no one wants because he's ugly. Oh, he's not ugly. He's kind of ugly. He's cute. I like him. But he's like, yeah, I have this really angry cat, and no one wants him. He's been here for 3 years, and he was brought in with a group of 450 other cats. I'm giving him itches so he doesn't bite me. And then I got there, and they, like, really started selling him up. They're like, oh, yeah, like, no, like, oh, you're here to see that cat? His name was Alfred at the time. Oh, like, you're here to see Alfred? Like, did they tell you about the behavioral problems that he has? And I'm like, what? And I was kind of scared of him. Like, I literally adopted him being afraid of him for the first 2 weeks that I had him. Because he was a little grumpy boy. And he would kind of like freak out anytime I got near him, and I'd get like not aggressive, like he wouldn't bite me, but he would like definitely hiss and swat and like show you his displeasure at you being near him. So I pretty much just ignored him for like 2 months, and then he started wandering over my face while I slept at night, and I'm like, I take this as a good sign, I guess, that I get to wake up with your stomach flap dragging across my face. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. He's a good cat. He's like, now he's just like a big lump of cat that like demands snuggles from me. But he's super cute. But anyway, yeah, so I mean, you guys should totally all adopt cats. Maybe not like angry cats, but like get shelter cats if you can, because shelter cats are awesome. And even if they're like timid or whatever, like when you first get them, or like evil and you're afraid of them, like, I don't know. I think you should get shelter cats. They're good. They might maybe, I certainly can't promise you that like any shelter cat you get is gonna become super snuggly and adorable after like 2 years like my cat did, but so that'd be ridiculous. But I don't know. I just think it's nice. He's like clearly happier than he was here. I think the only reason that he was actually in the shelter for so long was because he was kept with a group of other cats. So like he was basically able to be housed with other cats. I think he was like grumpy to the point where like I feel like he might have. I'm actually not entirely sure if that's a no-kill shelter that I got him from or not, but he was grumpy enough where like if he was in an individual cage and like taking up space, I think he might have not lasted as long as he did. But I don't know. I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure if it was like a no-kill shelter or not. But yeah, because I mean, he was kind of a scary jerk face when I got him. What if I just duplicate these guys again? When I get really lazy with the back of the hair. But yeah, he's a good cat now. He likes cuddles. He follows me around at night. I'm like the only person that he likes. And it's cute. I mean, like, I wish he was more social with other people. But it's totally flattering to like to be like the only person that he'll, you know, follow around and like run around demanding pets from. Because he will literally follow me around meowing until I pet him, and then if he's like mid-meow, he'll stop meowing as soon as I start petting him. And I'm like, you're ridiculous. Like, you know this, right? He just sits there contentedly as I pet his face. He's such a chill dude, though. I don't know. I feel like I should be talking about things that are more relevant to stuff besides my cat, because this is literally just me shaping geometry. There's nothing really interesting here. I'm not even using any tools. I'm just duplicating pieces of hair and, you know, moving their vertices around and occasionally extruding. In case you thought this was a glamorous thing to do. I think with this piece of hair I might maybe be done. One can hope. Like I said, I really don't enjoy doing hair like this. It's fun for the first, like, few things of hair you place, and then you're like, I want to stop now, but I can't because I still have, like, a full head to do, and then it's, like, kind of dispiriting. Is that a word? I'm actually not sure if that's a word. But it's kind of, like, sucks when you're like, oh, I just want to stop, but I have, like, an entire left of the head piece to do. And the short hair is always hard for me. Like, making, like, an asymmetrical haircut or whatever like this is like always such a strange thing that I have trouble with plain hair. I just need to like keep working. Like long hair is fine. You just like throw in a big strand of hair and be like, boom, hair. But like short hair is all piecey and weird. You need to make sure it kind of sits right. And I was just like, ugh. Hi. There's another cat trying to break into the room. Yeah, it's been like 2 years. We still have to keep them separated because the one cat attacks my cat on sight because she's a piece of crap. I love her. She's soft and she's awesome, but she's also evil. You can perhaps hear her trying to break through the door. Anyway. Asking, oh, Why are you such a bad cat? She really is. She's like such a piece of crap. Oh, she's playing with my bucket outside. And by playing with, I mean trying to break in by fiddling with the bucket that I left outside the room. Just adding in a bunch of random stuff onto this piece of hair, and then I'm gonna call this good. Cool. That looks amazing. Or something. Or the fact that his body is kind of weird. It's actually kind of cute. I don't hate this. So this is a little awkward. Another great song. She's such a bad cat. Oh my god, she'll do this for hours. She like tries to break in so she can beat my cat up. I don't know why she's like such an aggro cat, but she really is. Alright, just cleaning up my outliner. Woo! Whoops. Apparently also getting rid of people. Yeah, I think getting rid of that weird chunk in the back of the hair was a solid decision. Alright, I'll duplicate this and see what happens when I take all of these. Alright, clearly there's some weird stuff with normals happening here. I'm just going to take all of these and just zero out all of the hair. And then theoretically... Okay, this behaves more like how I expected. Alright, what am I doing right now? Reversing the normals. Doing. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is now go through and just like, hello, maybe add a few more edge loops into this hair in certain areas. I might actually be incredibly lazy about that and just do this. Ooh, hello. What am I doing? Nothing good. Alright. So I'm literally just going through and just adding edge loops in here to help sort of firm up where the hairline is supposed to be, which will take me only so far. I am absolutely going to have to go back in here and just tweak this more than I wanted to. It's fine. This is why I hate doing hair. But, I mean, if I look at this, it's, like, kind of cute, sort of. I think I actually liked it better as plain hair, but whatever. Alright. Please stop adding edge loops in there. Smooth this again. And then I think I'm just going to come in and actually grab, like, these verts in here. And I'm just going to, like, scale them and twist them until they match up a little bit better with this other piece of hair. For some reason, I do actually like doing the hairline. I don't know why. It's, like, kind of fun. And make it, like, out of all of this hair stuff that I do, it just feels like the most, like, I don't want to say most like I'm being a stylist, but, like, the most like I'm being a stylist. Okay, that actually did a lot. I don't know, it's something about the hairline is, like, fun to me, but kind of also not fun at the same time. It's very hard to explain. Alright. Yes. Love a good Queen song. Every time I want to select only the vertices on a certain model, or like on 2 models, I can never get the tools to work and do it for me, and then every time I don't want to, it's like, definitely want to select all of these, right? That's absolutely what I'm going to do for you right now. Oh no. No life for let my nursery. But yeah, I don't know if this is like the best way to do hair ever. I would actually hazard a guess this is probably a very inefficient way to do hair, but for the time being, this is how I do hair. In my office, with my cat napping on top of me. I'm lying, he's next to me. He doesn't really sleep on top of me. I can count all the times he's like sat on top of me on 2 hands. On 2 hands, even if those hands were like missing a finger or 2, I'm still pretty sure that that count would be, that statement would be accurate. And cross the wire. Alright, so I'm just tweaking the hair again. Alright. Wow, some of these back pieces are like incredibly awkward. Is this just naked head underneath? It is. Cheating real hard right now. But it's not cheating if it works. No, I'm totally cheating, but it's fine. Alright. And now I'm going to stop fiddling with this hair. What I will do is go through and I'm still gonna go through back after this and like sculpt the stupid hair probably. I could leave it like this, but it looks quite awful. This is really awkward. Just sticking straight up in the air. Actually, just need. I could just texture the hair on, but I think I'd rather sculpt it. Well, yeah, no, because I'm trying to 3D print this. I'm sculpting the stupid hair in. I refuse to have to come back and like redo work just because I was like, I should texture this out of principle. Like, no. Cool. We're gonna call this halfway decent and say that I'm not kind of would be a little bit ashamed to have this as my actual hair. It's gonna be great. Anywho. We're gonna call this halfway decent. Oh my. That thing where I keep saying I'm gonna stop, and then I don't stop, and then you end up with this like really creepy super humanoid body on this pop figure. Please don't chew on my finger. No, what are you doing? Still kind of afraid of my cat, mostly because of love bites. It's scared. It's not like horrible, it just scares the crap out of me. Every time he does it, and I'm apparently very skittish as a person. Hair extrude. Why do I have multiple versions of this hair? Aw, he's such a cute little boy. Alright, and now I'm going to... Whatever. I do not care that is... Is there anything under here? Oh. What? Weird. Alright. No, stop trying to bite me. I should just let him do it. Ah! Oh god! Ow! Yeah, he literally just tried to take a chunk out of my hand. Ow. You are such a jerk. There are like tiny teeth marks in my hand, like all over my hand now. He just chewed on me for like 5 seconds. Well, I mean like 2 seconds. It was like the time that I was screaming pitifully. Yeah. Anywho. So I'm just gonna go through and like thin the tips of this hair a little bit because I think they look really quite awkward otherwise. Just gonna go through and do this for like most of the strands. I really think this is like instant. Takes like 4 minutes to do this, and like this looks so much better than it did, you know, before I did this. And It's also kind of like silly, fun, mindless work in like the worst way possible. But yeah, I mean, it's like infinitely better. I think it does. Whoop, 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 whoop. Sound effects are weird. Sorry. Anywho. Did this one? Did that one already? I just forgot there were more pieces on this stupid giant piece of hair. This uncomfortably large, thick wad of hair. It's just sort of here, randomly. I usually like to try to be sort of systematic about doing this, so I don't miss a bunch of hair chunks. Which, because there's nothing more annoying than like finishing and then you're like, oh great, like I'm done. And then you're like, you export it and it's like done, and you're like, oh shit, I missed like 80 pieces of hair. And you're like, well that sucks. You just have to go back and like redo it all, and you're like, no, I don't wanna. I really don't wanna. But you gotta. These are very much weirdly shaped chunks of hair. I extruded these very weirdly. I don't know, I just think they look so much better pointy. I really do. Which is why I'm taking the 5 minutes to actually go back in and make them pointy. In case my preference was not obvious about that already. And again, this is literally not doing anything terribly fancy, literally just pretty much the only thing I'm doing right now is just like grabbing different models, selecting their vertices, and just scaling them down towards each other. It's like fairly self-explanatory, it's just like one of those tiny things that again I think just makes the model look way nicer. I also accept that I will probably never go back and tweak this, like ever. So I would like to, if I'm gonna do the hair, I would like to do it kind of not terribly the first time, because like I said, there's no way I'm ever gonna come back and like redo any part of this for any reason. It's now or never. That's how I usually am with my personal projects. I'm like, one shot this, gotta one shot it and one shot it like. One shot it and one shot it well? Does that even make sense? I don't know. I do. Most of my personal projects are like one shots. Or just like weird afternoon projects where I'm like frustrated by like, I don't know, teaching or like whatever other freelance thing or just like stuff I have to do. I'm like, I'm just gonna take an afternoon and like do something stupid for myself. And that's just sort of like how half of my projects are born. If you saw that like weird wood resin ring tutorial thing that I have on the YouTubes, that was like one of those weird, I think I did that whole thing in like half an hour. And I just sort of like sat down and I just did it. I'm like, cool, that satisfies my curiosity about that project. Like, I now know that it can be done, and now I'm happy, I guess. So, I mean, that's, I don't know. It's kind of like a spaz when it comes to modeling, I guess. And like a lot of times I just talk to myself like a crazy person. Like it's like sometimes I will sit in, even if I'm not like recording this for any reason, I will literally just start rambling about things to myself and like have a conversation with myself. And I'm like, this is kind of uncomfortable, but like whatever, I guess. I don't know. I think I get like a little bit hyperactive when I work, and talking to myself is like how I help focus myself, I suppose, so that I'm not, you know, running out every 2 seconds to like go do something else. This is going to be an absolute nightmare to UV. Things I don't look for. I think I like this side of the head the best. Yeah, I definitely do. I might actually grab all of these hairs over here. All of these guys. And just shift them over. And down ever so slightly. I just don't like them being so puffy. They were like a little bit too intense. And then I'll grab this. And just... And tweak this guy. The cascade failure, where you tweak one thing and you have to go back in and tweak 80 other things. Ooh, wow, I might just like resculpt all of this. This is incredibly awkward. I think I just need to scale this down. Tuck that in there. Ever so nicely. And then if I make this... What did I even do here? If I make this a tad wider, maybe. I don't know. Whatever. Again, there's really no reason I need to be getting so in depth with this. This was supposed to be like a dumb 2-hour model, and I think I'm pushing like 3.5 hours on this now. Apparently I have self-control issues with modeling. Whatever. What if I make this thicker? Alright, yeah, it's not bad. Cool. So I'll thin this dude. Pointify that. Pointify this. There's no particular reason I'm working with the vertices instead of like faces or edges. It's just like a weird personal preference. I've always liked working with verts better. It really doesn't make sense, but I find it to be, usually for whatever I'm trying to do, it ends up being more efficient just because of the way that I work. Most people think I'm insane for working with vertices, and that's fine. They can do whatever they want in their free time, and I will continue to nudge vertices around as I do things. Yay, awkward spiky hair. I think this whole thing is like actually a bit too long. Let's see if I got all this. I did, holy crap. That's kind of exciting. I get excited by stupid things. Very stupid things. Alright, this is one of those cases where I'm like, what am I actually working with right now? There we go. Alright, so here's my creepy pop figure. Ooh, what did I do here? Oh, I see. I moved some of the vertices out with wild abandon. Alright, cool. I'm gonna call this halfway decent after I push this face in and probably make like 10 other tweaks knowing myself. Alright, but I think that's decent. I'm just gonna call this a day for now. So you can see, because of the way that I saved my hair for some reason. So here's all of the hairs next to each other. And I will turn off this person. Weapons layer. So here's all the hairs for now. So I started with this plain hair, went to just plain extruded hair. I like tweaked the hairline a little bit. And then I went back and I just like made some of the points a little bit more pointy. So you can see how that looks from the back. Again, plain hair, simple extrude, and then I went back and I made the ends pointy. And now my awkward pop figure has awkward hair. Move these back into place. Just hide those. These. Alright, and now I'm going to assign this my UV texture. This is going to be a nightmare. Bleh. Very much not looking forward to this, for the record. Alright. I think I'm going to do the same thing I did for the hair. I'm just going to planar map this sucker, and then let's go in and cut each individual strand apart, because I hate myself. Again, with the sexy planar mappings. Alright, and I think I'm just going to go through, do I have anything? Yeah, I'm just going to go through piece by piece and just slice all of these apart. Start here, and I really should have UV'd like one of these hairs before I started, but I was not thinking. So I'll just cut that. Actually, that was dumb. That was like the literal front seam of the hair. Eh. Cut that. Cut, cut, cut. Hide. Grab another piece of hair. Find bottom seam. Cut. I'm just cutting 3 random sides of these bottom faces here. Not being very picky, which I just want these. I want all of these hair pieces to be, like if I go in and I unfold this right now. This is gonna unfold pretty nicely. Or at least it should. Yeah, okay, so I cut an extra strip here. But you can see it's like one reasonably nice chunk of UV to work with. So like each piece of hair is gonna have their own little UV. That looks pretty much like this. So I'm just gonna keep doing this. Please don't bite me again, little dude. Gotta stop. So yeah, grab, grab, grab. And I will just cut these. I'm just gonna unfold them all at once when I'm done, because I like being able to just hit G for cutting. Okay, this is fun. This is like totally one of those instances where if I had UV'd a single slice of hair, UV one piece of hair, and then you can go through and instead of having to basically do the exact same UVs for everything that I'm doing, or like for every piece of this stupid hair, I could just pretty much modify the existing UVs for a given object. Which is definitely the more efficient workflow. I just was not thinking when I started this because I was like, ew, I need to model hair. I really don't want to. But that's absolutely, like, would have been the better workflow in this instance. Again, a little planning ahead can save you a lot of time in the long run. And this is like, I'm really just I'm doing like 2 things. I'm just selecting different strands of hair, picking the edges I want to cut, hitting G, and it just cuts them automatically since it was the last strand of hair or the last command that I did, was the cut tool. And then I'm just gonna, once I'm done, I just take the whole object like this, do Control H to hide it, Control 1 to get out of Isolate Select, grab a new hair, and go right back into Isolate Select and do the exact same thing. It's like kind of comically tedious. This one is going to also take a little bit more work. Because it has these 2 strands in here, so I think what I might actually do is just cut right down like this. I have no idea what this is actually going to do. We're going to find out when I come back and unfold this later. So theoretically, I mean, it should wrap all of this stuff together. Ooh. Shift C. Shift. Okay. Whatever. Whoops. Yeah? What am I doing? Did I duplicate this? I did. Whoops. I think. This is what they said. Yeah, I totally duplicated that. Alright. And then I'll just, if the hair I grab is like not centered on my screen, I'll just hit F and it'll center it on my, whatever I have selected at the moment, which is insanely handy and incidentally also probably one of the only ways that I've ever managed to successfully-ish navigate Maya without a middle mouse button, is just hitting F and basically having Maya find you the piece that you need to grab. I also was like, I should make the UVing of the hair a separate video, and I didn't do that because I forgot, and honestly, I might be too lazy to go back in and re-upload things. So, Sorry. Oh god, I hate these weird pieces of hair. Ow, I'm sorry. He bit me again and I poked him in the face. In my terror at being bitten, I poked my little boy cat in the face. I spent way too much time on this. Like, way too much time. I still have to add clothes. I hope these UVs work, because I'm just sort of systematically doing these for all of these oddly shaped pieces. Yay. Yay. This is so gross. Oh, shoot. I didn't even do the top of this one, did I? Ah, what have I done? Interesting. Apparently selecting an object and cutting it will just make separate UV shells out of every single piece, or every single face on the object. Why you'd want to do that, I'm honestly not entirely sure, but apparently you can do that very easily if you want to. Weird piece. I really wish I UV'd one of these weird pieces before I started, and then, again, I wouldn't need to go back and click every stupid edge. So I should, again, probably do the top of this. See, if I wanted to have good production value, I could go through and cut this video and make this look faster, but I don't know. Probably should. This is the most uninteresting thing I've ever done. Ever. I'm really mad at myself I didn't UV one of these pieces before doing all of these. Let's see, just get all the stupid weird pieces of hair out of the way. I think that's all the weird. No, there's one more. Dang it. Might be like like 3 more with my luck. Even so, 3 more isn't that bad. I also really want to watch Airplane right now. There's like a Bee Gees song playing that wasn't even used in Airplane, but it reminded me of Airplane, and now I want to watch Airplane. I'm gonna get bitten by my cat again. Really needs to stop this love biting thing. It's quite disconcerting. Apparently, he's also done this to my boyfriend, except he finds it cute, but he also encourages his own cats to just, like, chew on him. And I'm just like, why would you do that? I don't understand. I'm very much just like, what about not making the cats have terrible behaviors, like biting people? And they've 100%... So, like, his one cat is really smart. His other one's just kind of annoying. I mean, he's nice. That one's actually chill with my cat, so I like him either way. But, like, the one cat pretty much has learned that if she, like, makes noise at night, people will wake up and deal with her and, like, you know, open the door for her or do whatever. So she does. She just turns into, like, a holy terror at night. Because she knows, like, she's been trained over, like, the years that he's had her, where, like, if she does this bad behavior, eventually that he'll respond. And it's really funny, because, like, I've watched his cats a few times, and I would just ignore her when she's, like, banging on the door at night. If she does, she'll literally, like, just go up to the door and start scratching it for, like, 20 minutes. And I just ignore her, because I sleep really heavily, so it, like, doesn't really... I mean, it bothers me now because there's lead paint in the house, and, like, we don't, like, obviously we don't want her to, like, chip off lead paint and then eat it by accident or something stupid. But, the actual noise itself doesn't really bother me. So she'll just be scratching for like 20 minutes and I'm like, yo, I don't care. And eventually she'll stop. So like in the week that I was watching her, she barely ever scratched the door after like the first night because she just realized I didn't care. And I like wouldn't respond to her nonsense. So you can 100% train your cats to not be little pieces of crap. All right, now I think I've done all of the hair now. So let's see. I'm just gonna grab all of these hairs and unhide them, and see what the heck happens when I just unfold all of these UV shells. My computer is. I should have saved before doing this. My computer is probably going to explode aggressively. These aren't even complicated things to do. I guess there's a lot of stretching. I don't know. Oh my god. I'm gonna do a modify layout. No, that totally could be worse. These are all at least one piece. If I look at these, it seems like they're also, with the exception of like this dude here. This is the one that I already laid out. It probably explains why. A lot of times it seems like when you do an unfold and then you unfold other stuff, like it'll kind of mess up the thing. But I mean, these are pretty uniform in terms of UVs, I think. So I'm just gonna run through and like maybe quickly check each of these to make sure there's nothing like super insane happening. That could be better optimized, but I don't really care. It's such a tiny, stupid piece of stuff. Cool, so that actually did work. That's actually quite exciting. And I'm also going to have to go back in and relay these out because I went through and changed the size of one of the UVs, so now they're probably okay. You know what, I might just, this is dumb. I'm going to trust that these are not complete trash. And I'm going to go through, grab all these guys, delete history on them, and you can see that there's now overlapping UVs from that first guy that I did a layout on. So I'm just going to grab all of these stupid shells again, do modify layout. Boom! Now we have hair. Cool. I don't really care if these are terribly efficient use of the space. Yay, hair. That's exciting. Turn this back on. We have a sweet little UV person with sweet UV hair. So exciting, guys. So stoked about this. Alright, so I should probably add clothes at some point to this as well, because I would like to have clothes on this person. I was also considering blowtorch, like an actual crazy person. What if it's gonna be bigger, it looks like, in comparison to the hair. Smaller? Larger. Definitely larger. By larger I mean smaller. Herg. I'm gonna have to do like a 4K texture. This is gonna suck. Wow. Yeah, the hair is like really inefficient with the UVs. Which I knew was gonna happen, but it like, dang. Alright. What are these things? Okay, how do I want to do